Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we are going to be talking about beauty trends that need to die in 2021. Now, I did a video similar to this last year and you guys seem to really love it, and not only love it in that you agree with everything that I say, but I do think this type of video does kind of start a conversation, or at least it kind of makes you think a little bit differently, whether you're kind of in a beauty rut or you've been thinking of doing something that you maybe have seen either on a celebrity or on YouTube and wondering whether it's right for you. So these are my 5 things that I feel I have seen in the beauty and YouTube world in the last year and where I think it needs to stop. But at the end of the day, you need to do what makes you feel good, and if you feel amazing, screw everything I say in this video. But knowing the trends obviously does help you curate a more personalized and more up-to-date look. But that's not what today's video is about. Today's video is about going too far and doing these beauty trends that, in my opinion, need to stop. All right, so trend number 1 that needs to go is the overfilled cheek. So as we know, with filler, you can get your lips done, you can add it to your cheekbones to kind of give you more of a raised look. You can even get it on your nose to either soften a bridge or correct more of a slant on the nose. And now I have nothing against filler, as I've been quite open about getting my lips done. I think adding volume in your face where it looks right and it enhances your face, I'm all for. Now the issue for me is getting an area in the face filled, mainly because you see someone else do it or because you like it on someone else's face. All of our faces are so unique and so different. As with lip fillers, they became really in because Kylie Jenner did it and her lips before versus what they look like now. By beauty standards, they look more beautiful now. So I think that triggers the thought in a lot of us that if I add volume to my lips, it will look better. And that is not always the case. First of all, it needs to be done by someone who does it well. That is key. And then number 2 is, do you actually need it? And I've actually seen faces where the lips were small to begin with. So I understand the thinking of more lip filler will make my lips look better. But it's all about the shape. And the first time I got my lips done, I only did the bottom because I have an asymmetry with the bottom lip, and I did it to correct that. And then after a while I was like, well, my top lip now looks so small compared to the bottom. So I got a little bit in the top and I hated it. I hated my profile. When I got the top done, it never looked right. So I ended up getting it dissolved maybe 6 months later. And as soon as I did it, I was like, this is so much more me. Moral of that story is that it's even okay to try, but if it doesn't suit your face and if it hasn't enhanced or improved how you feel and how you look, get rid of it. And the thing with the cheekbones is obviously when you kind of look slightly profile or at an angle, height up here or volume up here signifies youth. Now, when it's overfilled and almost to the point where it starts to droop, I think, in my opinion, that actually ages you more. Okay, the next one is a hair trend, and that is that overly dramatic money piece, that streak in the front. And now, I'm not completely against it. Let's just say I grew up in the 90s where that was cool. Now, being old enough to see it come around a second time is strange to begin with. I get it. This is why I think this trend, if it's new to you and you haven't seen it, meaning if you're like 22 and under and you love this look, go for it. Do the fun colors, all of it. And again, if you love it, do it. But as a hairdresser, seeing it from that point, that look was created when toners weren't as amazing as they are today. Root shadowing, teasing, balayaging, all of this wasn't so much of a thing, and it was so much more difficult to create softness. As an artist and as a hairdresser, it seems silly almost to go back to something that just seems so unelevated and so unsophisticated, if that makes any sense. My next one is to do with photoshopping. And now this is no secret. Everyone has talked about how bad photoshopping is. Some people find it as an art form. So me personally, I am not against photoshopping. I feel like magazines do it, the media does it. I understand that influencers, YouTubers do the same. And my kind of rule for myself, at least, is if you're removing something that is not permanent about you, it is okay. So say I have like a huge zit on my cheek and it's a beautiful photo regardless, I think it's okay to remove that because guess what? In 2 weeks, I will not have that. The big thing more so lately though, I think, is with body editing. I will be the first to admit I have edited my photos. Now, again, with the body, I think if it's a beautiful photo or it's a beautiful location, but it's a bad angle of you and you tweak it a little bit to where you think it looks more like you, body-wise, I think that's okay. Where I think it is absolutely insane is to Photoshop the body to this unrealistic, whereas even if you lost 20 pounds, you wouldn't look like this. To me, that's where it's wrong. To me, that is where it's creating this really weird and false idea of what beauty is. It's this teeny tiny waist with huge hips. And so I feel by photoshopping it in this way is just creating more of a demand for something that never exists. I do think it is important for our sanity and for our like realistic view of the world, especially now that we have less interaction with other humans. I think it's even more so important. Okay, the next one is those very sleek ponytails. A ton of celebrities started doing it like, 2-3 years ago. I think it's still a very big trend. It looks so clean, so elevated, so polished. I get it. It is beautiful. But again, as a hairdresser, how bad that is for your follicles and for your hair. And I get it. Celebrities probably get this done, once a year for a red carpet event. And then they have hair that's this long, and then they have a hair team that, puts in extensions and beautifies their hair almost daily. So for them, that's okay. For the average person, especially when I see these young girls with gorgeous, naturally long hair, and I'm like, don't do this to your hair. And personally, like I said, it looks very polished. It is very beautiful. I think there are other styles that are just as polished, that can be just as feminine, beautiful, elevated, that don't do half the harm that this style does to your follicles and your hair. Those are my beauty trends that I feel should end. If you have any tips or trends that you feel need to end, please leave them down below. And yeah, if you're still here from the beginning, I appreciate you. I know there's so much content on the internet. Thank you for picking mine. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.